Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Mitch. Hope you guys are having a great start to your Monday, a great start to your work week. Got you an update on what is going to happen today. Today is going to be a very active day in the weather world, severe weather wise. All hazards on the table for areas of central and eastern Texas into Louisiana overnight, even eastern areas of Texas into Louisiana into the overnight hours. And then tomorrow it is its own deal. We'll break down that tonight. But as I'm making the video tonight, there will obviously be severe weather ongoing. I know a lot of people will be tuned into the people going live, and I can't blame you there. You definitely need to find a way to get alerts, especially if you're going to be in central to eastern Texas and to Louisiana overnight. But I'm going to give you an update what the latest model guidance is showing just specifically for today and try to do my part in the weather world and the weather community to try to keep y'all alert. So if you guys have not subscribed, definitely consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. I do still plan on chasing. I plan on leaving late tonight, probably just after midnight, then heading west, probably to southern sections of Mississippi to get my full first chase of 2022 under my belt. So I'll try to be bringing y'all live conditions and things like that. So definitely tune in for that. It'll be a different we'll be going in a storm chasing mode as opposed to just kind of sitting in the computer and talking about weather. I'll be actually in it. So definitely stay tuned for that. So if you guys got anything I can pray about, please put it in the comments below. Gives me an opportunity to pray over it. Gives others an opportunity to do so too. I know a lot of people suffer from storm anxiety, and rightfully so when you're in the bullseye of what could be the potential for an outbreak of dangerous storms this afternoon, this evening, and even into overnight hours. The threat continues overnight. So it's going to be an active next 48 hours, really. And then there's another severe weather threat for Wednesday. We'll talk about all that tonight. So let's get going. Nothing has changed. If anything, the enhanced risk has kind of broadened. So it's including almost into the Dallas area. It's including Shreveport, Louisiana, Austin, Texas, almost in the San Antonio. Tornado threat. A 10% risk. You got a hatched area of that 10% risk of a stronger tornado occurring where you have the dashed lines, which is basically the entire 10% area. You got the 5% area going completely around it. That includes Dallas, Shreveport, and Houston is actually in the 10% risk. So this could be a dangerous situation today. We'll have to see how it happens. How fast as these discrete supercells congeal into a line of storms? Will they stay discrete for long enough? Well, it's going to be hard to kind of figure that out until we actually see it in live action on radar and see what's happening here. But a big time, okay, got a little glitch there, no worries. There's a wind threat, obviously, with any kind of supercells, so watch out for that. But the hail threat's going to be elevated, and the reason is because when these storms explode along this dry line, the chance for larger hail in the size of 2 inches in diameter or higher or larger is definitely possible with these huge supercells that develop along this dry line here. So large hail is definitely going to be an issue. Watch out Austin, maybe even San Antonio, Waco, and all towns and cities in between. That is the area that needs to be watched out. We need to watch out for definitely some large supercells that can develop. And let's check out what I'm talking about here. Let's start this off. This is around midday Eastern Standard Time, so around 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. We're getting going. Plenty of convection already out here. How much does the atmosphere recover as we're getting into 3, 4, 5 o'clock this afternoon? Wow, you got all this convection ongoing in eastern Texas. But watch into this area right here as a dry line sets up. You got a lot of dry air flowing in. You even keep your eye on the snow. You know, the snow is one thing we have not talked about, but there is going to be some heavy snow. This is typically a setup that favors a lot of heavy snow in eastern areas of Colorado, even into the panhandle of Oklahoma and Texas. So that's one thing I have not mentioned, and I probably won't end up get to mention, but there is a snow risk, big time snow risk for those areas. But let's continue to talk about the severe weather going on into the evening hours, getting into about 4 or 5 o'clock. Here it is. Watch out Austin and surrounding towns and cities. Be careful. Even San Antonio, do the storms explode just east of y'all? It looks likely, but we'll have to see how that happens. But we're getting into that 6, 7 p.m. time frame. I would say this is really closer to probably 6 or 7, definitely Central Standard Time. And these are when the storms explode right into this area, around Waco down to Austin and points south. These storms really get going. There will be about a 2 to 4 hour window where these can produce very large hail and a tornado for sure. But what happens after that? But I'm telling you guys, large hail is definitely a significant threat with this. There is a significant tornado threat. But large hail, I think, is almost just as significant. But we keep this rolling here. Supercell's still ongoing. I mean, these are some nasty storms just east of Waco. So if you're in this area just east of Waco, Texas, nasty storms are moving through here. A lot of heavy rains falling. There is going to be a flooding risk. I'm going to talk about that too because it's what needs to be talked about, but a big time flooding risk also. So you keep this going, and this kind of gets congealed into a line of convection, turns into more of a blob of heavy storms, and just a line of storms. It almost turns into a linear mode as you get into the later evening hours and overnight hours, which still will have a tornado threat with this, but it will turn more into a damaging line of storms and a flooding threat with an isolated tornado threat. But you're getting into eastern Texas overnight. It stops right here. But dangerous storms in Tyler, Texas, starting to get closer to the Shreveport, Louisiana area as you're getting into the later evening hours. I'm talking about 9, 10, 11 p.m. tonight, Central Standard Time here in Texas. But there's even dangerous storms still ongoing. In fact, well, let's go on and switch it just to the latest long-range HRRR model, which you keep it going. And what's crazy is it looks like it's pouring snowing overnight into Amarillo, Texas, while you have severe storms going on the other side of Texas. This isn't completely unheard of. It happens often, not often as in every week, but often as in at least a couple times a year. But Lufkin, Texas, down to Houston, tornado threat ongoing. What's dangerous about the Houston area is it looks like it'll be more so overnight. But these line of storms really slow down in response to this system, this low-level jet really just slowing down. Therefore, advection, moisture will continue to funnel into this area. And this is when the flooding threat becomes a big deal right into this area. As at this point, it has been storming for several hours in areas from Lufkin, Texas, up to Shreveport, Louisiana, and everywhere in between. So we're getting into the morning hours and we start to enter another period, but ongoing severe weather as you're waking up in northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, and still even in eastern Texas. We look at the latest HRRR model going past this range. I'll switch this over to tropical tidbits so we can maneuver a little quicker. It's a lot more broader. And we're getting into tomorrow morning, ongoing storms, and then we start to get into Tuesday, which I don't want to talk too much on. We'll talk about that tonight, but there's still some questions on Tuesday. Right now, we're trying to figure out, is there going to be storms to develop right into here ahead of this main line? I definitely think there is. And this is really starting to speed up. So I really think the moderate risk and enhanced risk will actually get extended a little further east because this system's starting to speed up now. So we got to watch this, but you get a little bit closer to these storms right in here. They got a little hook to them. I know it's pretty far off on the screen, but these are some dangerous storms in this warm sector ahead of this line of storms. All these storms can be dangerous. But let's talk about the rain threat between now and tomorrow morning. Several inches of rain in eastern Texas possible. In northwest Louisiana, Shreveport could get a big issue with flash flooding is definitely possible. Southern Arkansas, even in the Dallas-Fort Worth, could see a couple inches of rain. But eastern Texas, a lot of rain. This is the National Weather Service forecast too. So this is its own threat. It's going to be very active tonight, guys. And it's not just going to end once you get into, the 8, 9 p.m. range when most storms begin to kind of mellow down and lose that unstable atmosphere for them to thrive off of. It's going to be ongoing overnight. There's going to continue to be plenty of dynamics in place to keep these storms going. But there is a moderate risk in this area, the same area that the National Weather Service is really honing in on. There is a flash flooding risk, and that is a moderate risk, which stands for at least a 40% chance in 25 miles in any given location in this red area for flash flooding guidance to occur. So whatever your guidance for flash flooding is for this current time, there is a 45% chance, 25 miles in any given location in this range, and still flooding even outside this threat and the slight risk. So dangerous day ahead, dangerous day tomorrow too, and this is a sneak peek at tomorrow. Nothing's really changed. Moderate risk is still here. I would not, be surprised if this extends a little bit further east into portions of west central Alabama. We'll see how that goes. But right now, a 15% hatched risk of a tornado of 25 miles in any given location. That's starting to get on up there. We'll see if this upgrades to a 30% risk or anything like that. But there is even a hatched risk still even around this of a 10% risk. When I say hatched, that means when there's a hatched area, which means you have those black dashed lines and outline lined around it, that means you have the same percentage to see a stronger tornado, which is an EF2 or higher. So dangerous day ahead. And then you got the area of that cold core storms that could produce a quick tornado. But this is a dangerous day ahead the next 2 days. So, and even Wednesday is going to be its own threat. Well, there's a slight risk now introduced for a large area of the southeast. But we'll talk more about that tonight. Hope you guys have a great Monday. Make it great. A lot of people are doom and gloom on Mondays, but try to make the best out today, guys. I know I am. And stay safe out there. Stay safe. Have a way to get alerts. Download RadarScope, guys. I'm telling you, it's only $10 a year. A year, not a month. A year, but it could save your life. It really could. God bless all y'all. I'll talk to y'all this evening. Stay safe.